It is wild card weekend, and the Texans are hosting a playoff game against the LA Chargers. It's going to be a tough game. Both teams are so evenly matched. They got both great defenses, great quarterbacks. But what I've been hearing from the media is that the Texans have not a chance to win this game. And I find that bamboozling. Just these takes I'm seeing on Instagram, on X, the Chargers will destroy the Texans. I really don't believe so. Yes, the Texans have looked bad. I've talked about this all year. CJ Stroud, sophomore slump. The offense has been bad. I just showed it, but the point differential, 0. You scored as many points as you let up. And the defense has been nonstop locked down this year. I had questions about the secondary. I've said this in multiple videos. But you got Bullock, you got Lassiter, Stingley stepped up, Christian Harris is back, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson. The whole team has been great on defense. It's offense that's been the biggest problem. Injury-riddled season, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs. But the real reason I want to say that this team has a shot to win is because anybody can just turn it around. CJ Stroud can be like, all right, it's playoffs, let's go. And the way they came out just swinging the bat last week, baseball term, I don't care, but they struck first and they struck fast. I know it's the Titans. The Titans aren't very good. The Chargers have a decent defense, but I'm expecting this game to be like Tampa Bay versus the Chargers a couple weeks ago, where the Chargers had a solid first half. They put up 17 points, but the Bucs came out with second half adjustments and shut them down. I don't know why 70% of the public is like, yeah, the Chargers, they should take it easily. I understand because of what's been going on. But you can't count out this Texans team. I really do think this is a game the Texans aren't obviously going to blow them out, but they should be in a close victory. Last year, when the Texans played the Browns, I was somebody who's like, this is going to be a rough game for the Texans. I think Joe Flacco can edge them out. And the Texans blew the doors off Cleveland. They had the 2 pick sixes. It was incredible to watch. I mean, I was like, wow, we won a playoff game at home. And I think as a Texans fan, I was more just kind of like in the past about how our defense just lets teams back in the games and we never do good with the lead, the Bill O'Brien era. So it's just crazy to me how everything's been going. But in terms of what to look forward to in this matchup, wild card weekend is going to be crazy in itself. But the Texans, in order to win this game, it's going to come down to what they can do on offense. I believe they have a top 10 defense. They've been good on total points. They've been good on total yards, pass yards, even top 10 in rushing. So if you can shut down J.K. Dobbins, who I think the Texans have done a good job of just stopping the run in general, but the defense is not the problem. It's the offense that has to just wake up and go out there, and I don't know how it's going to be. Asante Samuel, Nico Collins, you got Deontay Johnson. He played in his first game against the Titans last week. Do they get him involved early? Do they let him play 30% of snaps and he gets frustrated? Like, that's the whole situation. I don't know what to do, or I don't know what to think. I know it might sound stupid. I'm supposed to have a take here, but the Texans' offense has been so inconsistent this year. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. This team beat the Bills this year. And then they were up big against the Lions, the other first seed in the NFC, blew the game. So I don't actually think that people should be saying the Texans have no chance. I think it's crazy that that's how it's going to be. This take is getting me out of my seat. I think the Chargers win the AFC East or the AFC future. Whatever. Whoever wins this game, most likely, no offense to the Broncos, I know they're great. Whoever wins this game is probably playing the Chiefs. That's how it's going to be. If we play the Ravens, we're done for. If the Broncos beat the Bills and the playoff picture just gets all shaken up, the Texans will get annihilated just like they did on Christmas. But looking at this horrible take, no offense, I love the Chargers. I love what Jim Harbaugh has stood for this year. But they're not getting past the Texans. This is the one upset in the playoffs that I'm not doubting. Every year, there's one road team that upsets. One. Last year it was I thought it was going to be the Browns, but the Buccaneers beat the Eagles at home. So although the Texans are not favored at home, which I think is crazy, it should be a 1-point spread. But what I'm getting at here is the Chiefs game. And the fact that this is going to be one of the easiest paths to an AFC championship, and I say that with all due respect, the Chiefs are a great team. They had a great season. People think they're going to three-peat. They know how to win games. Yes, they won a lot of games this year. But the 25-day gap is going to be astronomically crazy for them to come out and play like they've been playing football for the past 3-4 weeks. Even week 1, like, people don't just come out and play well. I mean, after 3.5 weeks of 25 days rest, you're just practicing. Sometimes you forget how it's like to play in a football game. So if the Chargers or Texans win, I'm just going to be happy when they beat the Chiefs. We lost to the Chiefs by a touchdown. Very depressing. Chargers, Chiefs, AFC, West rivals. But in terms of the Texans, going back to the reason I think they win this game is that the offense is going to show up for the first time ever this year. And I've been saying that they're going to bounce back. They're going to bounce back. I said it like 8 times. They're going to bounce. They've never bounced back this year. I was expecting after the bye week, the Texans, I'll come up the plate. The offense is just airing it out. No, not even close. Stroud looks just uncomfortable in the pocket. The Texans have the second most sacks given up to quarterbacks other than Caleb Williams, who's been getting killed in the pocket. So it's a crazy situation. The whole O-line's been banged up this year. Juice Scruggs finally got a first week back. But the picture on the screen right now, big Derek Barnett, the defensive end, filling in for Will Anderson, who took a rest. He had a big touchdown. So the defense is mainly the reason the Texans are going to win this game. The Texans have been a mid-offense this year, but there is no reason why that mid-offense can't do just enough to get by the Chargers. And then I think with the 25-day rest, you're going to beat the Chiefs as well. So it's going to be an interesting road, but from my perspective, there's not a reason why the Texans shouldn't take this. And there's a very good chance they could get first rounded. But, I mean, both teams are new. New head coach, second-year head coach, second-year quarterback. Herbert, not much experience in the playoffs. We'll see. I hate to say it, but the Texans can very easily go to the Super Bowl. And I know it sounds dumb now, but when they get hot, any team that gets hot in the postseason, they can go on a run. All it takes is one game. We saw it last year with the Kansas City Chiefs. They were this average team, barely made it to the playoffs, won their division, but didn't play the best football. And then in the playoffs, they just turned it up. Same thing could be with the Texans. Tom Brady a few years ago with the Bucs, his first year on the Bucs. I think I don't really want to speak for everyone, but a lot of people counted him out on the playoff run. I saw a lot of takes. Tom Brady's washed, this, that. He doesn't look good. And then he went and ran on a run in the Super Bowl because of his, mind capabilities of, hey, it's the playoffs, we have to win. And he just found a way to win. Stroud, I don't know if he can find a way to win just because of the way he's been playing this year. If it comes down to a field goal, I'm scared for my life. Kaimi Farbairn, he's missed a couple 20-yarders this year, and that's heartbreaking. However, to summarize just the playoffs in a whole nutshell, this defense is what's going to keep this team in it. And I know I've been kind of repeating myself here, but the biggest thing to look for is how does Justin Herbert respond to this defense? Because the Chargers can very well come out slinging it 34-17. The Texans won't score more than 24 points. So that's where if the Chargers just out-edge the Texans on offense, I'm not disappointed. But this should not be anything more than a one-touchdown game. And I'm proud for the Texans to make it to the playoffs. But it's all a matter of how you perform in the playoffs. They were average all year. They had a below-average offense from what we saw last year. The defense stepped up big time. I want to see some good offensive play. I don't care if the Texans lose by 3. I don't care if the Texans lose by 20 and the defense doesn't show up. If the offense plays well, I will count that for a successful season because of all the hardships they faced this year. If Stroud throws for 250 plus and 2 touchdowns with a flawless day and no turnovers, which, no offense, I would be shocked if he does because of, no offense, unfortunately, how he played this year. But that would be a successful season. We go out on top. We play well. Defense doesn't cut it like it did against the Titans. I don't see that being a possibility. But just looking at it again, it's going to be a crazy game. And I'm excited to watch it. We're going to recap it I'm ready for the offseason already. It sounds stupid, but the offseason is my favorite time of the year. You got free agency, you got the draft, you got a lot of players you got to deal and things of that. But I need to know your guys' thoughts on this game. Chargers, Texans. Texans are at home, by the way. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I think just a little bit it's going to help them. So let me know your guys' prediction. I'm going to go with I know I said the Texans don't score over 24 points, but we'll go 27-24 Texans on a last-second field goal drive from Kaimi Fairbairn. It's going to be fun, but I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to the AFC Championship. That's what I think. But, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your predictions in the comments, and we'll see you after the Texans beat the Chargers. Peace.